Take it away, big boy.
And welcome to another great episode of Get Spooled Fishing, sponsored by Tampa Fishing Outfitters Store.
Yeah.
Captain Rick Liles in the house.
That's right, baby.
Captain Beers.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Beers, myself, Captain Jason Prieto. We are live, large and in charge. Captain Travis is hanging out at the house, probably
Recouping from Louisiana.
Recovering from Louisiana.
Actually, I saw him comment here just a second ago.
Yeah, that's a rough week, man.
What's up, Ty?
You get back, and when you get back from doing that, it's fun, but
it's tiring, I bet.
It beats you down, especially, Travis don't really drink a whole lot. When I go, we're always drinking it.
That's probably what
that'll lead to the fatigue for sure.
Yeah, so hey, you gotta enjoy the vacation. But I know he caught some good fish. He actually had a dead fish penalty I seen on the results.
Yep.
Kind of surprised me because he's got that well set up right. But Louisiana, that seems to be a common thing up there because you get in that fresh water and you got to block your well off and have oxygen. So I'm not sure what happened with that, but I'm sure we'll get the scoop on
next week.
IFA. I think 16 wasn't a huge weight for there. 16 something won it.
Yeah.
So
I know one of our local guys finished top 10, Copeland Moore and Mike Rogal.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they finished in the top 10.
Yeah, usually, man, the Florida guys do good. They do good up there. Sometimes they win them. They're usually top 10, especially the championship and all that. So it's a fun tournament. I looked at the payouts, and they were kind of depressing if you didn't win first place. But
that's saltwater fishing.
Yeah, for sure. But, yeah, I'll be up there next month. No, actually the month after next. We're not in August yet. So I got.
So would you rather be 37th in a bass tournament, like a Bassmaster, or first in?
What's 37th paid?
I don't know.
I'll answer your question. I'll find out what it pays. Yeah, we'll be fishing the Redfish World Series, and that's going to be interesting because. Sorry, we got new mics, dude. Listen, guys, we have new mics coming. New computer.
What's up, Jeff?
We're revamping this thing.
Yeah. What, Friday, right?
Should have the stuff Friday. Yep. The mics.
So
might be
maybe by next week we've got all new technology.
We got to get Travis in here to dial the computer in. The mics are pretty cut and dry. But yeah, the Redfish World Series is gonna be interesting because it's a 4-day tournament. So you can't wear a spot out. It's gonna be a lot of strategy in that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun, but always fun in Louisiana fishing up there.
No doubt.
Sure. But Big Money Beers, somebody's already throwing it out to you there.
Oh, he's talking to you.
No, man, I'm just following you guys.
No, he is. Kevin, you're gonna have to clarify. I think you're talking to Prieto, right?
How many boats has he had in a 6 months?
How many has he got now?
I don't know.
One more than I need. That's for sure. One more than I need.
So, anybody interested in a 2500 Pathfinder?
Hey, yeah, anybody who's interested in a 25 Pathfinder, let me know. I've got one for sale.
Rigged out, ready to roll.
It is rigged out.
Captain
Told you he was talking to Prieto.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, no.
Yeah,
Get those
absolutely.
stringers reattached on it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, fix the hole in the bottom. Yeah, it's all good to go.
He
But,
added a bilge pump for water intrusion.
Yeah, well, it's like a cycling system in there.
You just
Yeah.
can't hit
No,
a
I'm
trestle
just
doing
kidding.
30.
I'm just kidding.
He's the whole boat for research.
They're just teasing. Boat is fine. Boat is awesome. I'll be honest with you. I love that boat.
Obviously.
I've got high accolades to say about that boat. And
25.
if it was something where I wanted to continue to get a boat like that every year, but see, I don't have people who are ready to buy it, and it just stresses me out thinking about
I'm
that.
with you on that.
So yeah, in a new boat, and first trip's tomorrow. It was kind of bittersweet, I'll tell you. Friday, Saturday, to run out of the Pathfinder, and I'm glad we finished the way we did. Put a lot of good fish in the boat.
You're going to be going. You have a big change going from a double step tall to a classic.
Yep,
So tell everybody what kind of boat you got now.
Schaefer. So it's a
Good boat.
Schaefer. Yeah, looks good. It's an older hull, new power. So
Yeah.
I can't wait.
You got the right motor on the back. I'm glad to get you on board.
Yeah, going to Mercury now.
Get Rick and Travis. Travis, we ain't getting Travis.
Nah.
I'm not too picky. Whatever's on the back, as long as it's new and under warranty, I'm all good.
A lot of motors nowadays are pretty good motors. Even Suzuki has built quite a reputation in the last, I'd say, 5 years, and they got one of the biggest service facilities in the whole region, whole state, I think. Actually, the southwest part of the United States. So a lot of your motors are good nowadays. It don't matter what brand it is. You don't want the one that was built on Friday. That's going to give you.
Right.
That's the problematic one. So, but you'll love that 350, man. It's a great motor.
Yeah, I can't wait.
What's the stream go down?
He's asking, did our stream go down? That might be his internet, or I think we're still good because we're
Okay.
still showing here, so we're all
I thought it was
set.
getting personal.
Yeah, you
Stream go down. Get a little personal, Major there.
How's y'all's peeing?
I don't know, bro.
It happens with age.
But yeah,
Our techie guy's not here. Do not ask any techie questions.
so it's a new boat. It's fun. I'll be running it tomorrow. As soon as I get home tonight, got to change everything over.
Oh,
And the reason is, I kind of hit that mark on the hours I want to be at with the Pathfinder. Not selling it for any other reason than hit the number of hours I wanted to put on that boat. Feel like I could still sell it. But fished it hard this last weekend. And I was telling you guys before, I asked you the question, had anybody ever caught an American red snapper in the bay? And because I hadn't,
I've never heard of it.
20 years of running boats and maybe a little bit longer fishing inside Tampa Bay. Never seen it, never heard of it, never caught one myself. And lo and behold, I'm up there fiddling with the trolling motor, fishing a spot in Tampa Bay. And, clients, it's kind of a slow bite. We've got some dolphins patrolling. And, we get a mango up. It slows down for 5 minutes, and then I'm messing around with the anchor on the front of the boat. Client yells back to me. He's like, I got a good one, Captain. And I'm like, all right, get him in the boat, flip him in. While I'm messing around on the front, they're fishing off the back. And he gets it in the boat, and they're oohing and on. I'm thinking they got another big mango. And he yells up to me and says, so John says he has. Yeah, so first time for me. But anyways, he yells up to me.
I'm a rookie, man. I never caught one.
He yells up to me. He's like, Captain, I got a red snapper. I was like, no, it's a mango. I was like, if he's legal, put him in the cooler, because I've got my hands tied at the minute. And he's like, no, I think it's a red snapper. And I'm like, no, the mangoes are bigger here, and they generally are. And shoot, lo and behold, I turn around. He's holding up a nice American red snapper. So good deal.
It wouldn't surprise me. Todd exclusively. Actually, I talked to him at the
Captain Palooza.
Me and Todd. We started guiding literally around the same time, same area. Got to be good friends over the years. Both ran Canyon Bay. Actually, Todd got Danny and I hooked up with Canyon Bay years ago.
Yep.
And so me and Todd are good friends. But it wouldn't surprise me. Todd is really just exclusively grouper bottom fished in the bay now. And he's
darn good at it too.
I tell you, Todd is a very, very good fisherman, and he's very somewhat like Travis a little bit. Very hones in a certain area, or really hones a technique in.
He really studies the pattern.
Yeah, he does. He's good. He's good fisherman. Always has been since I've known him. Puts a lot of effort in. But we were talking about him not guiding. He's like, I don't miss it. He enjoys fishing.
Yeah, whenever I see him out there, he's having a great time.
Yeah.
He's always got a buddy or two on the boat, and
I need to go out there with Todd one day, man. See, on the other side of the spectrum, I get a day off. I'm like,
I don't want to be on the water.
Yeah, I mean that's just when you guide every day. That's kind of what happens, you know. Especially when you're booked a lot, like you've been doing the kids camp for 3 months. I'm sure your days off, you're
and he's still running weekends, man.
Yeah, well,
I didn't last weekend, but
But the weekend before you did, and the weekend before that, right? Yeah.
So it's
this time of year it can just take its toll on you. Even I try to. How many?
Hang on, Corey. We will figure it out because we got new mics coming next week.
A whole new sound system.
Whole new sound system next week.
Yeah. Are we too loud? We're gonna use you guys. You guys are gonna be like our audio guys.
New sound system comes in by next week, installed and up and running. To be determined.
Yeah, I'll try to get in a little.
But
early.
Corey, we got your brother working on it. We got some new upgrades system-wise coming. But yeah, Todd is somebody like anytime I'm around him, I want to pick his brain. And he just puts it in a way that anybody can understand it too. You could have just said it. I think when they see you giving me the down signal, you can just say it.
What do you want me to do? When that thing spikes, you're too loud.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there.
I'm going to keep it lower.
Yeah, you want it right in the middle. But anyhow.
But you got on some snapper too lately.
Yeah, today I had some guys book me and good conversation on the boat, just two guys, and we got some nice snapper.
Mm-hmm.
We limited out and we got some small grouper. We got a couple, so we mostly did bottom fishing. Had some tarpon rolling around us, didn't get them to eat. But we got some real nice snapper. No keeper grouper today. No big gags.
So where do you think we're at? In terms of snapper inside the bay, in the manner.
I think we're right smack dead in the middle.
Full blown.
I think when I came back from scalloping, which I went scalloping, was it the 16th? Came back like the 21st, something like that. When I came back, when I left, I was not catching snapper. When I came back, I had them. Second day on the water, I had them chum to the surface in 30 foot of water.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a full moon right around then, and the snapper bite really. It's whoever's asking us a question. We don't rip fly rods.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say
I don't know.
Us?
No, that's to the Tampa account.
Okay, but but I think we're full fledged in the snapper right now.
I do too.
I've hit some spots. It's funny. The first few spots I hit today, like I was marking them, but they really. We were catching them on the bottom, but they wouldn't come up. The last few days I hadn't come up. When we were around that full moon, I had them coming to the surface.
Yeah.
So we were dropping out. We were picking them. We had like 9 snapper by about 11, and I had hit 2 spots. And first spot we did a little bit of snook, and the water was just really dirty from all this rain in the creek. So I was like, let's just go do snapper. So we went to next spot, and I got there. And we had 9. I always say 10. The rule's gray, but I always go 10 snapper.
10, yeah.
It's an aggregate of 10, and I know it's a gray rule.
Oh, I mean
5 per person, and so I
don't want to clean more than 10, so 10's the rule.
Well, but the way the rule reads, it is gray.
For the longest time, I thought it was 4 apiece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but anyhow, so we went to the last spot, and we sat there for about 2 hours, and we started catching. I mean. Good snapper. And we already hit our limit. The guy's like, "Can we throw the ones back?" I'm like, "No, we can't call."
They're
so we
frozen.
got one. So we got one that was big that we kept, and we threw like 3 or 4 nice ones back. We had them going, man. And what was funny is this particular spot that I fished, I was catching tarpon, and I was getting big grouper from time to time on my bigger rods, 80-pound test. So today, but I had been using thread fins, a lot of cut bait, big baits, big thread fins. Today we were using this, small.
That's what I was going to ask you. What was the bait?
So I was using small fry bait dead, just what you get on the flats, and we were getting some pinfish. So we dropped knocker rigs down at first. I said, let's see if we can get I got a grouper on a knocker rig there, and I had been free spooling baits. So the knocker rigs wasn't working. So I said, let's just drop. The tide started slowing right at the top of the tide. I said, guys, let's just free spool these baits down, and I'm just chucking baits, dead baits. And I had one guy with a heavy rod doing it. Wasn't catching jack, and the guy with 30-pound test is just wrecking them. I mean, grouper. Luckily, we didn't catch any big groupers, we'd have lost them.
Yeah.
Oh, we also got a small Goliath today too, which was cool. The guy's first Goliath, but it was amazing. And I was using 80-pound on the big rods. This is my tarpon rod. It was amazing the difference that line makes. Like it was legit. Like the smaller rod was just every drop was getting hammered.
Leader you're referring to, right?
Yeah, 80-pound leader, and I was using like either 25 or 30 fluorocarbon O'Hero, which the O'Hero is thinner than most.
Yeah.
So I like to think that the 25 is almost like 20.
Treats it like a 20, yeah.
Yeah, so it was amazing the difference. I thought for sure that we were going to, because the same spot I got some 30-something inch grouper weeks past, and I thought, man, we're going to lose some because it's a lot of structure. And we didn't get hit by any big grouper. We had a couple that broke off, but they wasn't the ones that just.
So you didn't mix in any shrimp?
No, I've been buying. I had a whole bag of shrimp, and we didn't have to use them.
Yeah.
I've been bringing them because Travis told me a couple weeks ago, like he was wrecking them on shrimp. Could only get them to eat shrimp. I haven't had to do that. I'm trying different stuff to try to keep the shrimp alive. I've got a bag, like a big. We bought like 1,000 shrimp. We were going hog fishing last year, and we didn't use one of them because I got out there and there's 5 footers. And after the first spot, it's like
I remember that. I remember when you were going to do that.
I took all these shrimp, and I got like 2 gallon-sized slap full. So I've been saving them for snapper season. They're frozen. And then I bought live shrimp. I've been trying to keep the live shrimp alive. What I'm actually doing today is I took my bait bucket and I stuck it in my ice machine. I try to cool the water to keep them alive, see if it works. So I keep buying shrimp. I want to keep them alive the next day, and they're cooking.
Work. Yeah.
So
I noticed that. I picked up some shrimp, but I've also noticed that the area like Upper Bay, those bait shops are having a hard time getting any shrimp. Are y'all still getting it?
They got a shipment in today. I got just 2 dozen. What? Everybody's been catching redfish on shrimp from what I hear too.
Yeah.
I have not done well at all on redfish. My buddy caught like 12 reds down in Joe's Bay. But you have to get it up underneath the trees.
Yeah.
I know what spot he was at. I went to the same spot. I didn't catch anything. So, it's just luck of the draw. But the difference between me and him is I can't sit on a spot for 2 hours waiting for the reds to cruise the mangroves. But what you have to do right now is get the bait up into the trees. It's really tough. It's really tough with clients.
Yeah. Especially if they don't want you to cast.
Yeah, and then you need to just leave it there kind of like dead stick with shrimp. So, but there's a lot of fish around. The snook fishing continues to be horrible for me. I don't know how you guys are doing.
No, it's slow.
Slowest summer I've had since I can remember from my guiding career. I guess since 2010, I would say, because we had the snook kill, obviously.
Right.
I'm getting snook. And I've been talking to some people up in the Gandy Upper Bay region, and what I've noticed is the snook bite has been solid, not on the flats, but near them in the deeper water, around some rocks, around some docks, whatever there is around where you'd normally think they'd be. It seems like they're dropping off, and these fish are more cooperative. There's a lot of juvenile snook. We're talking a lot of 18 to 22 inch fish with the occasional bigger fish mixed in. But that's where I'm getting the most consistent bite. In fact, I had a tough snapper bite going Sunday after mackerel fishing, and we moved in to shallower water. So let's try something else shallower and see if we can get them going there. Ended up being snook. And
that's good to hear because I have not.
I haven't either. I haven't fished them much because of the kids, but when I have gone in to try to get them, we've gotten 1 or 2, maybe 4 fish, and then and sometimes that could take 40 minutes to do that, 50 minutes, and then the kids start losing interest. They got to be catching. So it's been and
it's warm. It's shallow water. It tends to be still out there. Like it's just different than when you're sitting out in the middle of the bay. You've always got generally a little bit of breeze working.
Never know what's going to bite out there. Always something wanting to eat. Have y'all noticed this year that the skipjacks are huge?
Huge.
I have not.
But they make me think they're mackerel sometimes.
Have you noticed that?
I haven't.
Jason, I'll bet you out there mackerel fishing, and I've been fishing up mackerel your way.
Yeah.
Kid you not, I bet we've caught 40 skipjacks that are a foot long.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Interesting.
Huge. Yeah.
Skipjack tournament on the docket for
we
this
go.
week. We had the needlefish.
We went from needlefish. We're going to skipjacks. Don't be a hater.
We're going to change your business to oddball charters.
Well, that's what it should have been named all along.
Right, oddball. But so you've been doing snapper fishing with these kids too, huh?
A little bit. We got some snapper last week. I didn't.
Yeah, I remember talking to you and saying you were going to go do some snapper, and that go pretty good though.
We
did all right.
Yeah.
Snapper fishing. The guys today, like these guys showed up with guy brought 3 rods, which I had my rod. I had almost 12 rods in the boat because this time of year I try to bring my tarpon stuff and then my inshore stuff because every time I don't bring my big stuff, I regret it. But I had to stick them up on my top rods on my tower, but he brought conventional stuff like a Calcutta 200, and I'm thinking, man, you're not going to use this, but he knew how to bottom fish and he was good, and we caught a lot of fish.
Yeah.
But snapper is one of them fish that it's a technique. It's not hard, but people will have a hard time picking it up. But people don't listen on charters, not all the time.
Yeah,
good bit. Like
it's
I
tough.
would tell somebody over and over and over, and they do not what I tell them to do. And I said, I always tell people, if you venture off of this road, what we're doing, you're not going to catch fish.
Mm-hmm.
I do that a lot on tarpon. Snapper, I'm like, this is simple, but you have to do A, B, and C, what I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
If you go do what you want to do, you can't just, snapper fishing is not the fishing where you just throw the bait in the water and you just sit on the side of the boat and look at the sky.
Yeah.
Rodney
can't do it.
Right. So you have to constantly be doing stuff, which to me keeps you entertained or whatever. So snapper fishing can be, there's a technique to it.
Especially when you get some current involved. If you're fishing deeper,
tide,
you get some current involved. That can be one of those things where they really need to follow what they're saying. Where I find it gets tough is with 4 people. Is when you got 4 lines down, you got current moving. Because with 2 people, or even 3, you can manage the lines, keep them apart.
One in the middle, 2 on each one.
Exactly.
Each side.
And you can watch their lines and kind of help them, because what you were saying with the free line, that's generally what I like to do. And I like to, I usually do fish a size 7 split shot, which is like the smaller range of it, and then I'll go up to a 5 if I need to, if there's a little bit current. The more weight I have to add, the less my method becomes effective, and I really don't like doing it at that point. I'd rather go hit mackerel then and find them on the slack tide, come back to do the snapper.
Yeah, it's just a technique. If people will get on the boat and get in the mindset that I'm going to figure this out and catch fish, they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people get on the boat and they're, some people, just depends on what you want out of the trip.
Yep.
It does. It is.
It's funny you mention that about the conventionals, because the guy that I had on, the guys I had Saturday, the guy who caught the red snapper, he was using conventional, and he just stroked him compared to the other guys. I think the other guys maybe only put 1 snapper each. It was a tough bite, but they only put 1 snapper each, and this guy put 4 or 5 until we went and did redfish
the
him.
Snapper bite today we caught a lot, but honestly, the one spot.
Did you lose a lot? Did you break off a lot?
No, these guys were good, man.
Good.
They were good, but the first 2 spots, like first one we got, they wasn't there, but there's a few of them that are big. We got a big one. And second spot, I'm marking them on my machine. They came up one time and went
right back down. Yeah.
So I knew they were on the bottom. It was just they didn't really want to eat, but we ended up catching 8 of them there.
There you go.
Then with the last spot, the tide was starting to slow. I think everything was lining up, and there were some big ones there. But these guys stuck with it. They knew what to do. When I don't have to. The other thing about snapper fishing, if you got to attend to your clients, you can't chum.
Yeah.
If you can't chum, you
they
can't
go down.
Snapper there.
Yeah.
So that's why I always tell them, I can't help you and chum.
Right.
It's kind of so it's.
Wow! Look at Gunner.
Yeah, we need to tell everybody we may lose them. Our batteries.
I'll plug in. Go ahead.
We'll keep it going. Hey, John, have you?
I forgot.
I know you said the bay snapper fishing's been good, man. I know out in your area. Have you ventured off to any of the near shore stuff at all? That's one thing that typically this time of year I start to do a lot of, like kind of when the tarpon season winds down, and we've got a lot of that going on next week. I'm gonna be out in Anna Maria, St. Pete area doing some of the near shore stuff. So just wondering if you're getting out there. But you see what he said there? I've gone to using a chicken rig versus knocker rig.
I don't know what a chicken rig is.
Yeah, you're gonna explain a chicken rig, John. But that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, do you do anything different? Like, so when you take the kids and you're gonna go target snapper, are you changing up your method for them at all?
Well, one, I'm not. I'm doing nothing with the swift current.
Period. Yeah,
you can't do it.
No,
I mean, it's just you can't do it.
Yep.
So no, I'm fishing the same, dumping more chum, and not doing current.
Right.
You just kind of gotta
pick and choose your battles there.
And you're not. Yeah, it's you just kind of got to give them the best opportunity, and that's the best opportunity.
No doubt. Yeah, even with like, some experienced fishermen, it's like that. And until they get one or two snapper in that free line or very little weight method, until they feel that, it's like I'm telling them, hey, the line's going to start shooting off. Close your bail. Well, they're like, you mean like this? You mean like this? You mean like this? I'm like, no, that's just it drifting.
Right.
And then I hear it. I don't even need to be looking. I can hear the line, and I'm like, that's it right there. Close the bail. But
today was easy with these guys. They made it easy on me.
Wait.
I could really concentrate on reading the machine, looking at
so maybe like a fish finder rig or whatever those are. Weight on the bottom and several hooks going up the main line. That's chicken rig, so several hooks going up.
Oh, okay.
Never use that. John, I know mates on an offshore boat. He probably,
Yeah, but he runs a lot in the bay.
He does a lot of. He does his own charter business, and he does a lot of fishing.
Weight on the bottom, hook is suspended 18. That's right. Yeah. So I've always called. I don't know if it's the right terminology, but I know exactly what rig you're talking about. I usually call it like a fish finder rig, where your weight is down and the hook is coming up from a little bit higher. And you know who taught me that is the guy.
I didn't know what it was called. Imagine that. I don't know. I know where I'm going, but I don't know the name of it.
Yeah.
That's cool, John. Yeah, so one of the guys where I learned that from, where they use that type of rig a lot, is up in the northern part of East Coast, where they fish for, where they do their bottom fish. What are they called? Rockfish? I forget the name, but somebody a long time ago taught me that rig, and I will use that sometimes in a heavy current.
And, I'll tell you, right now, the fishing, I'll tell you what was nice today. There wasn't a lot of boats out. You can tell that we're coming to an end on season, and things were slower on the water as far as boat traffic. It was nice. I love fishing August, September, minus getting up at 4 in the morning. The heat will beat you down. You do a 4 or 5 hour trip. You're back at 1. Bait's consistent. Weather's pretty consistent. And your bay fishing is awesome. Typically, our snook fishing is good through the summer. This year,
normally it is.
I mean, it's not uncommon to go catch 20 snook in the summer. I'm not sure what's going on this year, but it's a good time to book some trips, guys. The local people, support your charter captains, because I know a lot of our travel stuff goes down. People aren't traveling, so whether it's with one of us or with a charter captain that's on here that's watching the show, or somebody out there.
John's been on them.
Yeah, I mean, get out there and fish it. Everybody wants to fish in March, April, May. I'll be honest with you. If I was booking a charter, I would book it in the off months because it's more enjoyable. You don't have boats running all over your lines. You almost have the bay to yourself during the week, and a lot of times you won't have as grumpy of a captain sometimes either because we're not tired.
And you know what I'll tell you is if you're, and this probably isn't the folks that are watching right now, but the people who tend to have the most fun right now are maybe not as familiar with our style of fishery or only familiar with the flats fishing. And I've got customers like that who have been out with me several times snook and redfish, and we've had good days. But they're finding it more enjoyable a mediocre day of bay fishing because, wow, what's this fish, Captain? And I'm telling them, I think you got a mackerel. I think you got a mackerel. Oh, you got a snapper. You got a grouper. We get a shark. You get a tarp. There's all this other variety that's happening. When we're redfish and snook fishing,
it's either going to be a snook or
it's either going to be a snook or redfish, and I'm going to know before you even
catfish.
Occasional catfish. So they tend to get off the boat with a little more enthusiasm about it. I mean, they're always happy. I don't want to say that, but they're like, wow, I didn't know that existed.
Well, I'll tell you this too, guys. Right now, I know a lot of people think tarpon season is ending.
No.
I had tarpon roll around my boat the whole day. We hooked 5. Rick, you got 4.
I didn't land
tarpon.
4.
Well, you hooked 4.
We went 0 for 4, and the next day went 0 for 4. And then the day I talked to you, and then the next day we went 1 for 1.
I went 0 for 5 the day you saw. We're catching these fish up in the back country. These are the small from 10 to. I hooked like a 45-pounder in there. Small rod.
Yeah, there's some bigger ones in there.
So are you
seeing them gar yet?
No, yeah, they're annoying.
I've done that.
Yeah, we got like a 6-footer.
So have you?
Yeah. No way.
I swear to God.
I caught like a 3-footer in there.
So,
are you kidding me?
No.
You're usually going to find some gar, especially when you get way back in there.
Though?
That's big.
Yeah.
6 foot, Rick. That's tall as me.
Rick, are we going on the houndfish chasing? What's up with your hair, man? It's fluffing out the sides here.
That's the way I roll.
Wings. But you know what? Are you noticing that in those areas where you normally get your 10, 20-pound tarpon?
That's pretty big.
Dang.
That's pretty freaking big.
I'm seeing a lot bigger tarpon in those areas than I'm used to.
Yeah.
I don't mean big. I don't mean 100-pound fish, but 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Lots
I
of 'em.
thought for sure today I was going to hook a tarp. I had them rolling around my boat in multiple spots, and I thought, man, I'm dropping these small rods down. It's a given, and we did. But, what's weird, though, is some of the bay stuff we're fishing, there's tarpon that are 40 pounds and 120 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like what gear you use. I always, if I'm in the bay, I just use my heavy stuff.
If you drop down the 80-liter, you're getting a tarpon or a grouper or shark, and that's about it.
Yeah, because like today I was telling you,
They'll see it. Even in the darker water, they'll see it.
When I do catch snapper, though,
and you got a giant hook.
They're big snapper. So I don't know what I don't catch a lot, though. But, there's plenty of tarpon around through September, really.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty easy to get the juveniles right now. If that's what you want to do. The biggest problem
I think those are more fun.
Oh, they're a blast.
Catfish and the bait. It's funny because I fished them 2 days in a row. And the first day, I had no issues with bait. My bait stayed alive. And it rained that day. Rained that morning hard.
I'm surprised.
The next day,
done.
Didn't get no rain. And I went in there and my bait died in an hour.
Was it an outgoing tide?
Yes, outgoing.
Yeah.
Both days.
Figure that stuff's
Both
flowing.
days.
Oh, I went in there Saturday, and I told have you ever looked at your bait in your well? It starts turning
they start getting white. Yeah.
And you know that like.
Yeah.
But them tarpon didn't care. We caught the second day when we went.
You just got to make sure you can't start your trip there.
No, you can't. I tried it before and I lost all my bait.
Yeah, you can't do it.
I tell guys, and I really like to go there in the morning because they're more active.
Right.
The midday, you still get them, but they're.
Now, do you got a spot or two that you go to, or do you?
We lost the camera. That's it for the battery.
Well, maybe they can still hear us.
They can still hear us, but it's almost 8.
Do you have a spot, Jason, or two in there that you go to, or do you? What I typically do, because when you said where were you, I said I was 2 docks down from where I saw you. I cruise in and I'm looking, and I just want to see where I'm seeing them roll the most.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they'll move. I got spot A, B, C, D in there, and if I don't. See, they haven't been rolling much though. Usually, if a boat would,
they were rolling like mad Friday.
Were they? Well, see, they were too. I think when the storms were coming through.
Friday, they were rolling like crazy.
I'll look for 1 or 2 to roll. And man, I had one do a backflip on Shelm the other day.
Really?
Come out of the water trying to.
Well, I told the boys, I said, y'all start counting the tarpon, and I said, we'll quit at 100.
Yeah.
Got 17 people still watching.
They're not watching; they're listening.
We saw they got to 100 quick.
Anybody who's still listening, if this is something you've never done, look for the backs of canals, the ponds that have a little bit deeper, darker water. A lot of fresh water is going to be runoff. And that's really going to apply to any area, whether you're Sarasota, Bradenton, South Shore, Upper Bay, Middle Bay, downtown area. Just find these. I like to call them ponds, and right now, every one I'm checking is got fish in it, got tarpon in it. So, I mean, if you're somebody who's never done this before, get on Google Earth or something and try to find where a creek, a bay ends. Any of the rivers, and just.
There's a lot of fresh water.
You'll see them rolling.
Yep, watch for them rolling.
All right, guys, we're going to go to dinner. We lost our camera. Next week, hopefully, we'll have a new computer, new mics, and we'll get everything.
Everything will be unveiled.
We'll be hunky-dory.
Mm-hmm.
Tight line.
Yep, see you later.
Out.